We're located in that little corner between Grizzly Peak and Mount Ashland.
And what a sweet slice of paradise it is, something Al and Virginia Silbowitz, owners of Grizzly Peak Winery, have never taken for granted.
And that's what we say to ourselves every morning when we're in our right minds.
Al is originally from New York City, but made his trek out west in the 60s.
About 1961, when I came out to San Francisco, go to graduate school at Berkeley, UC Berkeley, and was there for the next almost 40 years.
He went to grad school, did some student teaching, worked in education, along with some other jobs and projects.
As a broadcasting person, so I worked in broadcasting close to 10 years.
People!
Exactly.
But his young family was looking for a change of scenery.
I had 2 young daughters, making a total of 3 at that point, and my wife Virginia had been teaching in the San Francisco schools, and we both said, you know, we'd like to raise the young daughters in a less metropolitan environment.
They decided on Ashland, and thanks to their realtor and friend, they ultimately settled on, again, this sweet slice of paradise.
I said, what are we going to do with 40 acres at that point? He said, I know someone who's very interested in grapes and planting grapes and thinks it's a good future endeavor here.
They took that advice and planted grapes in 1998.
We had our daughters do the crush and some barrels on hand and things of that sort. So we had a lot of fun with it, and we were experimenting.
But then after a few years, they expanded, planting more vines and more varietals.
My approach to most things is they have to work as a business. I don't care what you're doing, whether you're running a hospital or you're trying to run a farm. And when you're in the grape business, it's a kind of industry that has a lot of moving parts.
They made some wine on site, but eventually moved production to Palette Wine Company and winemaker Linda Donovan.
And our daughter has worked with her, and I think is now assistant winemaker for going on 12 years. So it became a kind of family connection that made a lot of sense for us.
At Grizzly Peak, it's right there in the tasting room. They believe good friends and good food deserve great wine.
I have a whole room full of gold medals, silver medals, etc., which is up in the little tasting room. But what I've discovered is it really, those are fun, they're bragging rights, but the main thing is to produce wines that are good and that last.
And when he looks back at the last 25 years, he's not only pleased with what they've accomplished, but says he's amazed. He says it's taken a lot of perseverance, faith in the future, and support from his community.
Step by step, little by little, persistence, and some clarity of what your goals are really are what make the difference in almost anything you're doing.